And we are back. It is now time for my Ligue 1 Team of the Season player review. Now, if you missed Friday's pack opening, make sure you go and watch that before you watch this video, because this team will obviously contain all of the players that I packed in Friday's video. So make sure you have watched that before we get into this. But if you are just here for the player reviews, this is the team that I was able to assemble over the course of the last week, and I will now talk you through my reviews on every single one of them. And the only player that I didn't get the opportunity to use so far this week is this Neymar card. I've been playing an awful lot of draft over the last few days because of the draft objective that has come along with the Serie A team of the season. So thankfully, I have actually had the opportunity to use every single one of these cards that I did not pack, other than, like I say, this Neymar. And to be honest, I don't even know if this Neymar even exists. I've not come up against him in any games of FUT Champs. I've not seen him in my own picks in FUT Draft, and I've not seen anyone else using him in FUT Draft either. So I don't even know if this Neymar even exists. But we will start off with the defense. And as you can see, we have opted for a 5 at the back for this team. Now, there are many reasons for this, mainly because I was only able to pack a couple of strikers, but I do have the red Ito from Community Tots if I did want to play a different way. The main reason I have gone for a 5 at the back formation is due to the height of the majority of the centre-backs in the Ligue 1. And what I mean by that is Mpabbe and Medina and, of course, Marquinhos, who are all of the 6 foot mark, as you can see here. 6 foot, 6 foot, and Marquinhos as well is 6 foot. The reason why that is important, and obviously their body shape as well, they're not the biggest as well. They're quite skinny in game. So that means if you are playing a 2 at the back formation, considering that a lot of the people in the meta right now are using the likes of Harry Kane, Erling Haaland, the new Lukaku that's just come out, there's a lot of big physical strikers in the meta at the moment. And unfortunately, in a 2-back formation, these short, skinnier centre-backs just don't really come up to scratch. And I will include Marquinhos in that as well. Marquinhos is fantastic to use, but in a back 2, he does struggle against physical players. That is where Todibo comes into play, though. And I actually think Todibo is a fantastic card. He's 6'3", medium-high, lengthy by default. And, of course, you can give him an anchor as well to boost that even more. He is a little bit sluggish on the agility and balance front, but the compensation for that is because we are playing a 3 at the back. And that means that he can just be the big guy dealing with their big forwards, and that is when Mpabbe and Medina and Marquinhos then excel, because their small nippiness against your opponent's wingers, or if they're playing the meta 3-4-2-1 coming at you, their left forward and right forward, usually the more agile dribbling ones, that's where Medina and Mpabbe really do shine. And I actually think that this Medina card right now is probably the best left-sided centre-half on the game. He's 94 rated. He's got fantastic stats across the board. With the anchor chemistry style, he goes to 99 strength, 99 aggression, immaculate defending stats, good jumping, good pace, and on the ball, he is absolutely phenomenal. Just look at those dribbling stats to begin with, and then his passing is fantastic as well. You can play him as a centre-back or as a left-back, in my opinion, in-game, because even though he's not got the flexibility to do it himself, if you start in a 3-back formation, depending on who your right wing back is, or if you're playing a right mid, left mid, if you've got someone with the capability of playing right back, you can then move Medina to left back. I actually think he is the best left-sided centre-back / left-back in the game right now. So if you can fit him in your teams, I would thoroughly recommend it. But like I say, just be a little bit aware that he probably will struggle as the second centre-back in a back 2. As for the wing-backs, Nuno Mendes is all right. I wouldn't say he's fantastic, but those of you that have watched these reviews know that I do struggle with short fullbacks. He is only 5'9". The lack of 4-star skill does make him a little bit lesser than I would say compared to other left backs currently at the high end of the game. But all round, I've not really got any major complaints about him. He's decent, but I wouldn't say he's exceptional. I would say there are other left backs better than him in the game, albeit not any that play in Ligue 1. The right backs, you have of course got Klaus and Traore, if you did the Traore objective. Both, again, very good, but both, again, sadly, a little bit on the shorter side. For me, Klaus works better as a box-to-box midfielder. The fact that you can give him 4-star, 4-star, you can, well, sorry, the fact that you can give him 4-star, he is 4-star, 4-star. The fact that then you could give him something like a Gladiator, play him as a box-to-box, get his finishing up to 97 on a Gladiator if you're playing in midfield. or give him something that boosts that balance as well. Really, really useful card. I think he's good at right back, but I think he is better either as a right wing back, right mid, or as a box-to-box midfielder. Into the midfield we go then, and I'll start off with the two that I have here, which is Moussa Sissoko and Fofana. Moussa Sissoko is one of the best CDMs on the game, in my opinion. He is so cheap as well. I able to pick this guy up for 43k, medium-high work rate, 6'2", absolutely insane physicals. He becomes lengthy, of course, as well, and he's got the anchor chemistry style on him to make him even more physically and defensively sound. The only issue is he's sadly only got a 3-star weak foot, and that does play against him in certain situations. If you are playing someone like I do, I play formations that have 1 CDM at times. He does struggle with that 3-star weak foot, so that would be his only drawback. As for the box-to-box side of things, you have, of course, got Fofana and Renato Sanches. This Fofana is absolutely nuts. You just give him an engine to boost that balance and agility up to the levels you'd want it to be. His stamina and his physicals are absolutely lights out. Defensively, he's fine. And again, with that engine, boosting the vision to 96, short passing to 99, long passing to 93. He is very, very good on the ball. His finishing obviously isn't the best, but like I say, he's the box-to-box midfielder. He's a cheap box-to-box midfielder, and I think he is really, really good. To the extent that I don't really think he's any worse than this Renato Sanches. I've used Renato Sanches in draft. He is obviously very, very good, but in my opinion, nowhere near worth the price tag that he is demanding when you've got the combination of going for Medina and Fofana as a link between each other to boost the chemistry in that regards. Renato is very good. If you've got the money to get him, sure, why not? Splash the cash. But for me, he's not worth it. Fofana is basically the same card. And then you got Marco Verratti, who I struggled with when I used him in draft. I do tend to struggle with small players, as you know, and the pace split's not ideal. He's not really got a lot of strength. I was a bit torn as to what to really do with him. I think he's probably going to be better suited as a cam, but then he's not got the finishing either. It's a very, very strange card. He always gets these bizarrely spread out stats when you get these special Verratti cards. So it's very hard for me to judge what his best position is. Again, as a box-to-box midfielder, he is all right. But for me, you should probably be looking to go for more physical players than Verratti. The only real cam in this team... Oh, sorry, I should mention Andre. Andre's just bang average. I would just avoid Andre. There are so many better options for the same price or like 5k more. Don't bother with Andre. He's not really worth your time. As I say, the only real cam option in this team other than Neymar or maybe Verratti is then this Remy Cabella card. And I was pleasantly surprised with this card. When you actually look at those stats with the marksman on him, you realise that how good this card can actually be. His dribbling is absolutely nuts. That +4 to reactions is absolutely crucial. And then he's already got insane balance and agility. The +8 to strength really helps as well. His passing is insane. And then with the +8 on the finishing, getting it to 94, he scores an awful lot of goals. And the fact that you can start him on the left or the right as well just makes squad building so much easier with him. Because with 95 pace by default, and the fact that it is 95 pace, not a split one way or another, you can easily play this guy out wide or at cam, and he is really, really fun to use in game. So I would thoroughly recommend Remy Cabella. On to the strikers then, and we have a whole lot of strikers to go through. We'll start with the two that I unlocked. Openda is very, very good. The only disappointment is that sadly he only has a 3-star weak foot. As you can see, the 4 games that I've used him with competitively, he scored 3 goals and got 2 assists. Really, really fun card. It's just a shame that for 13 wins, we couldn't get a 4-star, 4-star, maybe a 4-star, 5-star. I would have liked it to have been a little bit better. But if you manage to unlock this card, give him a go. He's all right. Mavididi is fantastic. And for an 83 and an 84 rated squad, he's probably been one of the best value SBCs so far this year. Really, really good card. Whether you're playing him out wide or down the middle, he really does a good job. As you can see, 11 goals and 9 assists in 15 games for him. Cannot recommend him enough. Even if you just completed him with your fodder, I would thoroughly recommend just giving him a try, especially since the fact that he's English and you can link him to the likes of Harry Kane. As for the ones that I did not pack, and I'll start with Lionel Messi. Again, good card. Nowhere near worth the price you have to pay to get him. Let's see what he currently is going for on the market. That's just with my budget. So what's he going for? Around 4 million coins. Not worth it. If you've got the coins to get Lionel Messi, get several other strikers before him. Good card, nowhere near worth that much. Same with Mpabbe. Really, really good card. If you've got the player of the month or either of the player of the months, don't buy this card. If you've even got the gold Mpabbe, I wouldn't say this one is that much better than it. Very, very good in game. Very hard to play against. But we all know the 91 Mpabbe and the player of the month Mbappe's are. So for me, avoid Mpabbe. He's far too expensive. Lacazette, again, absolutely lights out card when I used him. They really seem to be going hard on these 5-star skill forwards this year. But for me, again, if we look at his price right now on the market, he's coming in at around 1.3 million coins. And for that same price, if we look at the two next to him, in Ben Yedder, who is currently coming in at around 500k, and Jonathan David, who is currently coming in at around, not even that, again, around 400, 500k. For me, getting both of these is a much better investment than getting Lacazette. And that is just because I believe right now it's more important to have 5-star weak foot than it is to have 5-star skill. Obviously, if you are an elite level player who knows how to use 5-star skills to the absolute maximum, I imagine that's why Lacazette's a little bit more. But from my experiences using both this Lacazette in draft and then in my main team using the 97 Karim Benzema with 5-star skill rather than 5-star weak foot, and then my other two forwards are Kane and Marco Reus, I actually find the 5-star weak foot more useful than the 5-star skill. And that is the same that can be said for Ben Yedder and Jonathan David. These two cards for me are much, much better investments than Lacazette because I just think you'll get more out of them. Especially Jonathan David. He is absolutely insane. Those pace stats, those shooting stats, high, 4-star skill, 5-star weak foot. He's already got 99 finishing by default, and he's already got 97 strength by default. So you can just give this card an engine, and he basically becomes the best striker in the game right now. He is so good, and I cannot recommend Jonathan David enough. The only thing I would say is that there are, again, several other players like these two, like the Marco Reus SBC, Trophy Titans Kenny Dalglish, even some of the slightly lesser ones like Buchagueno or something like that. Any of the 4-star skill, 5-star weak foot forwards right now are all roughly around the same level. The one thing tipping it slightly in Jonathan David's favour, like I said, is that 97 strength by default. So those are my thoughts on the Ligue 1 team of the season. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. We will, of course, be doing this all over again next week with my thoughts on all of the Serie A team of the seasons. I will see you then.